Even though the release of episode 7 happened a week ago, we can already safely talk about what episode 8 is going to be like, since back in July 2025, Gooseworx wrote on her X, it was originally going to be done in 3, but episode 7 had to get split in 2. This way we already have full confirmation that episodes 7 and 8 are one global episode, which means the events of the next episode will be a direct continuation of what we saw in episode 7. Today we're going to talk about the release date, about absolutely all official leaks, rumors, and of course we'll discuss some events that should get us as intrigued as possible right before the finale of the Digital Circus. 2 months ago, Glitch uploaded a video called Glitch Direct 2025 on their YouTube channel, and in the context of this video, we only care about the segment where they revealed the release date of episode 8. March 20th, 2026 is the officially confirmed date, which means there are exactly 3 months left until the release of one of the key episodes of the Digital Circus so far. Closer to the end of the video, I'll tell you why this is actually really good and how it might affect episode 9, which, as we all know, is the finale of the Digital Circus. Right now, we already have several officially confirmed phrases from episode 8. One of them is actually a pretty jokey half of a phrase, zipidabap. At first glance, it might seem like this phrase is completely meaningless, but I think I found a solution to this little mystery. The thing is, zipidabap sounds like a pretty interesting, and I'd even say funny way to combine zip it and shut up. While watching the latest episodes that are currently available to us more than once, it's already been noticed that Kane says something similar to the residents of the Digital Circus. And if we remember how episode 7 ended,
you can mess with our minds too, can't you? The stupid sauce, the vegan thing, God knows what else!
Our names?
No, hold on, guys. Wait.
Then in that case, it's pretty likely that Kane is the one who's going to say this phrase to one of the characters. Considering that now the entire Digital Circus cast is as negative toward Kane as it gets, it's really hard to guess who exactly this message will be addressed to. After the release of the latest merch video, this theory starts making even more sense, since over those 4.5 minutes, Kane says it quite a lot.
Will you shut the frick up? Just shut the frick up! Shut up! Shut up!
Aside from zipidabop, we also have one more confirmed phrase from Gooseworx, and it sounds like, it's you. Most of the time, all the phrases that Gooseworx kind of spoiled for us didn't carry any serious weight for the plot, and were part of some kind of joke like the line, you're only making the joke take longer, or you made a whole guy for that? I'm more than sure that the phrase, it's you, is going to have the same level of importance as all the previous ones. The hardest part is predicting the situation and the characters who are going to be involved in this phrase, and if you've got your own ideas about what this could be, I'd be happy to read them in the comments. However, it seems to me that with zipidabap, the situation is totally different since here, Goose isn't saying anything directly and could be hiding something valuable. Either way, we gotta wait for episode 8 to fully understand what this actually is. I already told you that it's hard to figure out who exactly Kane is gonna say this to. However, probably the most obvious option is Zooble, who always seems to have some kind of issues with Kane. Let's wrap up the topic of phrases and talk a bit about the most likely runtime of the new episode. Before the release of episode 6, Goose posted a message where she wrote, a lot of people tell me that 4 episodes isn't enough time to wrap up the story, but that's like 2.5 hours of content. That's like a whole Pirates of the Caribbean movie. You know how much shit you can fit in a Pirates of the Caribbean? Right now we understand that the total runtime of episodes 6 to 9 is 2.5 hours, which equals 150 minutes. Even if we take the credits into account, episodes 6 and 7 have already, so to speak, spent 56 minutes of that time. That leaves us with 94 minutes for episodes 8 and 9, and let's be honest, that sounds pretty insane. Most likely, the finale of the Digital Circus is going to be quite long, and I'd even dare to suggest that episode 9 could be around 55 minutes long. To be honest, I doubt it's going to be any longer, and it's more likely to be around 50 minutes. But even if we take the maximum possible option, the minimum runtime of episode 8 would be 40 minutes, which honestly sounds really damn good. Before we move on, I want to clear up one myth that's built around a question from a Tumblr user. What's the worst thing Jax has done? Goose answered it pretty vaguely and said, you'll get to see that with your very eyes. Because of this, a lot of people started assuming that in episode 8, Jax is going to do something truly awful and massively screw over everyone else. However, to me, it seems pretty obvious that by that answer, Goose meant the moment with the red button, which marked the loss of even that tiny chance of escaping the Digital Circus. I'm not going to talk about Gooseworx's post about the importance of a specific character for a specific episode, since that kind of separation won't really apply anymore, while describing an episode with a single word can still be useful for us in the context of this video. We've already figured out that episodes 7 and 8 are one huge episode split into 2 parts, which means the descriptions of these episodes have to be discussed together and not separately. While, in the context of episode 7 reads as a state of confusion and broken expectations, oh is perceived a bit differently. The characters have most likely accepted the reality of the digital circus they exist in, and that's something we're going to need for the next part of the video. Aside from everything I've said about episode 8, it's important to remember one more, so to speak, spoiler from Gooseworx, where she revealed the reaction to the table read of episode 8. At first, everyone was sure that those 2 frames were referring specifically to episode 8. However, now it's obvious to everyone that this scene was taken from episode 6. Even so, here, Gooseworx once again hints at the importance of a character like Kane for the next episode. And before we finally move on to the events of episode 8, let's remember the beginning of the video, where I talked about the importance of the March 20th date in the context of episode 9. If we take into account that creating one episode from scratch takes around 5 to 6 months, and we're going to see episode 8 in just 3 months, then we can confidently say that the show creators are already working full force on episode 8 right now. This in turn means there's a chance that episode 9 has already started production, and in that case, the odds of us seeing the finale of the digital circus in June or July 2026 are pretty high. With each new episode, Kane's importance keeps growing, and if in the early episodes he was just an administrator who sent the characters on new adventures and then, accordingly, brought them back, now we understand that this character is essentially the one who plays a key role in the story of the amazing digital circus. If you watch this video carefully, you might have noticed how much was said about Kane, and considering all of this, we can safely say that in the new episode, our Toothy Administrator will be, if not the main character, then at least one of the main ones. We've also already figured out that episode 8 will be a direct continuation of episode 7, and to understand what comes next, we'll need to once again take a close look at the ending of episode 7.
The good ending, where you realize you'd rather stay with me than go back to that pesky old macroverse or whatever we decide to call it. I knew you'd make the right choice.
You mean this was all...
An adventure!
You dirty liar! You scumbag! You made me... You got in my head! You just lie about everything, don't you?
It's easy to notice that the characters are actually disappointed and simply drained by what they've just been through. This storyline will clearly continue in episode 8, considering that episode 7 ended on a cliffhanger. As I already said, the description of episode 8, in just one word, helps us understand that they definitely won't stay in this state for long. Besides that, we'll see for the first time how all the characters will be united around a single idea, and it's obvious to everyone that this idea is escaping the digital circus. Considering how we saw Jax, I can confidently say that all his panic attacks and moments of weakness and loneliness will disappear. It's quite possible that he will become their leader, because now we clearly understand that Jax, despite everything he's been through, is probably the bravest character of them all. You may have noticed that I didn't go too deep into the potential plot of episode 8. I just wanted to highlight the main events around the characters and their storylines, while a full video about the complete plot will be coming very soon. The same situation applies to Kane, since he is way too important for episode 8, and it would be better to dedicate a separate video to him, so as not to drag this one out. As usual, I'm waiting for your opinion in the comments, and see you very soon.